Attention, serious penny stock investors. Do you ever wonder how different your life would be if you'd bought Apple or Coca-Cola stock before other people knew about them? Think about what it would be like dropping $1,000 into a few shares and waking up one day to discover more than $1 million piled up in your brokerage account. That's the magnitude of the opportunity I'll reveal in a moment. It might sound too good to be true to most people, but making money in penny stocks is simpler than you think. You don't need a huge investment account. You don't need to be a day trader glued to a computer. And you don't even need to get lucky. So ask yourself, is it time to get serious about getting rich from the market instead of just getting by? If you can answer honestly yes, this company could make you an absolute fortune. In an uncertain market, you might be tempted to ask, why bother searching for the next Apple? Shouldn't I just buy safe blue chips and gold? But an investor who acts defensively when other people are panicking is guaranteed to be leaving money on the table. The fact is that penny stocks have outperformed all other asset classes since the Great Depression. Yes, better than blue chip stocks, real estate, commodities, even gold. Consider that $10,000 invested in large cap stocks increased to nearly $10 million between 1926 and today. Not bad, right? Well, the truth is, you could have done better, a lot better. Putting $10,000 into penny stocks over the same time period turned into nearly $1 billion. Head-to-head, penny stocks performed more than 100 times better. Now, you might then ask why brokers, banks, and big mutual funds, all the Wall Street honchos, avoid pennies like the plague. It seems so obvious to take $1,000 and turn it into $1 million or more, right? But here's where you have an advantage over the big boys. They can't trade them profitably. Penny stocks don't have the liquidity to handle millions or billions of dollars worth of inflow and outflow. It would cost them a fortune to buy enough shares, and they'd crash the market when they cashed out. They're too big, the volume's too small, and the numbers don't add up. Of course, that creates a golden opportunity for smaller investors. Here's what happens. Without interest from Wall Street, there's no analyst coverage. Without analyst coverage, the media couldn't care less about reporting on them. Add it all up, and it means there are hundreds of small stock companies that fly completely under the radar. Many of them are financially rock solid and growing at ridiculous rates. Yet despite all that, they're ignored and priced under $5. You may be familiar with the story of Coca-Cola. Back in 1886, Dr. John Pemberton was a one-man shop selling 9 drinks a day. Today's version of the company employs 140,000 people and sells 1.7 billion drinks a day. It's made millionaires out of its owners, as well as countless employees and investors. What you may not know is that just a few years ago, investors had a shot at the next Coca-Cola. In the mid-90s, Hansen Naturals was trading for 7 cents a share. A small player in the massive soft drink market, they were widely ignored by analysts and media alike. But this tiny company capitalized on the emerging energy drink trend in the mid-2000s. Now, known as Monster Beverage Corporation, the company has a market cap over $9 billion and employs nearly 1,000 people. The stock recently hit a high of $110.26 per share. What would that have done to your 7-cent stock investment? Well, it would have jacked it up a mind-blowing 157,414%. That's enough to turn your $500 into $787,070, or $1,000 into $1,574,140, and $2,000 into a bank account busting $3,148,280. That's just an example of the power of penny stocks, but it's far from being the only one. In fact, our analysts have identified a penny stock that looks a lot like Hansen did before it took off. Let's face it, if you're like most investors, you're eager to find that next big thing that will radically improve your stock performance, pad your bank account, and ultimately make your life a whole lot easier. Well, as a serious penny stock investor, here's the good news. When you know what to look for, uncovering the next 10-bagger penny stock isn't as difficult as Wall Street would have you think. To prove it to you, here's a sneak preview of one undiscovered stock that could explode this year. In a moment, I'll even tell you the name and the ticker. But first, you need to understand something. You're not likely to hear about this company in the media, at least in the early going, and you probably won't be getting a call from your broker to load up on their stock. But the fact is, our analyst team believes they have the potential to make your money several times over. And it's not out of the realm of possibility that they could be a 100,000% winner that completely changes your lifestyle. It's a tiny company staking their claim in a revolutionary new sector of the energy industry. They've developed a way to capture an essentially unlimited source of power. And equally important for investing purposes, they control the critical patents on the high-tech inventions necessary to bring it to market. You've heard all the hype about alternative energy. Frankly, it's old news. If this were just another wind or solar company, I wouldn't have taken the time to make this video. This is a game changer of massive proportions. This company is in the process of creating an entirely new sector in the $6 trillion worldwide energy market. We saw what could happen with the leading companies in emerging sectors when First Solar had its IPO in November 2006 and soared 1,485% in just 18 months, reaching a market cap in excess of $25 billion. This company could grow even faster. So what is this undiscovered penny stock gem? They're called SEFE Inc. and listed under the ticker SEFE on the NASDAQ OTCBB market. And why do we believe that they could be the next big story in penny stocks? Because they've developed a top-secret technology to capitalize on an entirely new and practically unlimited source of clean power. It's called atmospheric energy. It's not a household phrase yet, but don't be surprised when it becomes one. You're familiar with static electricity, which is generally pretty useless. But in the hands of SEFE, it represents a potential gold mine. They've developed a device called a harmony unit, basically a weather balloon connected to the ground via a long wire that collects the electricity. But the brilliance behind SEFE's strategy is that they've cornered the market on the patents for the process. As a result, they're the first and only company in the world capable of exploiting atmospheric energy. They've already been granted 4 patents by the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office and have 22 more in various stages of the approval process. Now, when you think about intellectual property powerhouses, no one is bigger than GE. In fact, they've filed more than 20,000 patents this decade alone. But the key here is that they're responsible for half the world's wind-generated power and are trying to grab market share in solar power just as fast. If you think about it, SEFE would be a natural acquisition for GE. As atmospheric energy takes off, they'd instantly be the market leader. If and when that happens, we believe it could cause an epic bidding war for SEFE, with the world's energy conglomerates vying for control. This tiny little company with big ideas could soar to a multi-billion-dollar cap in short order. That's the power of penny stocks. They offer the type of opportunities that would finally enable you to quit worrying about money. Imagine your family, house, bills, and retirement are taken care of with room to spare. Picture an exotic car in your driveway, expensive vacations, and eating at the fanciest restaurants in town. Of course, you could play it safe too, saving your winnings and living off the interest. That's for you to decide, of course. But the bottom line is, you'd have the ultimate freedom. You could do whatever you want, whenever you want. And penny stocks can help you get there faster than you ever imagined. So, if you're ready to start getting serious about penny stocks, ready to get on board what might be the next Apple, Coca-Cola, or Hanson, this could be a great place to start. For all the reasons we've just discussed, SEFE earns our highest rating. Strong buy.